This episode begins with a married couple, Edward and Kathy Osborne, relaxing in their home. When Edward creeps up on Kathy and scares her, he explains to her the reason she didn't hear him approaching her is because he's old and crusty.
Did I frighten you, Kathy?
I just didn't hear you come in, darling.
I'm sorry. Matter of fact, I walk very slowly and softly these days. You might also say that I creep instead of walk.
He then asks her why is she still with him as he has no swag at all.
Why? Why in God's name do you put up with the likes of me?
She then responds by saying,
Because you're such a good kisser.
Girl, we already know that you only kissed this man to stay in his will. Like, you ain't fooling nobody. After this, the couple then hear a ring at the door. Edward tells Kathy that it's his business associate, Michael, who has come over to do a little business. As soon as Kathy goes to answer the door, Edward grabs his chest as it's in severe pain. He then hurries up and takes some medicine before they enter the room. We then cut to the next scene with Michael and Edward signing paperwork and whatnot. After they're finished with their work, Kathy then comes in the room with their Ouija board.
A Ouija board? Callie, you're playing that silly game again.
Edward, it's a perfectly harmless way for me to spend my time.
Yeah, Shorty would have got divorced immediately. What you mean it's a perfectly harmless way to spend your time? Like, you better go read a book or clean up the house or something. Or better yet, make them boys some sandwiches, goddamn me. But after she says this nonsense, Michael then tells them about the time during his childhood where he always heard bad things about Ouija boards.
Ever since I was a kid, I've heard bad things about Ouija boards.
Edward then tells Michael to stop being a mark.
Come on now, Michael. Wake up and join the 20th century.
And Kathy then says something else stupid.
He's right, Michael. It's just a game. In fact, why don't we play right now? You don't have to leave right away, do you?
Bro, how lame are these people? Like, who sits around and plays with the Ouija board? And to make matters worse, these are grown adults past their 40s. Well, she might not be, but y'all know what I mean. But of course, Michael goes along with this, and Kathy begins to give him instructions. She tells Michael that the spirit that's connected to the Ouija board name is Ben Fairchild, who was the original owner of their home. Their goofy asses then decide to call on Ben, and the first question she asks Ben is, when his spirit is not in the Ouija board, where does he live?
Ben, when you're not here with the board, where do you live?
Ben responds to them by saying,
The madness room.
and of course Kathy gets extremely wet by this.
Now, don't tell me that this house is haunted.
I mean, how long have y'all lived there? Cause by looking at the interior, it seems that they've been here for quite a while. Like, if they haven't heard any ghosts, what should they be worried about? Kathy then gives them more insight on the madness room. She tells them that everyone that has ventured off into the madness room has gone insane.
Everyone that's ever stayed in that room has gone insane.
Edward then responds by saying,
Sounds like the bedroom of my first wife.
damn, this boy just threw shade like a mug. And I bet you his ex-wife would say the exact same thing. Edward then asks Kathy where is the madness room so that he can stay far away from it.
All right, Kathy. Where's the location of this madness room? I want to stay clear away from it.
Kathy then responds by saying that she doesn't know
That's just it, Edward. No one knows.
and proceeds to tell a horrific story about the room. She tells them that Ben Fairchild's wife, Ophelia Fairchild, was staying in the room and suddenly went mad. She says that Ophelia Fairchild shot and killed her husband, then she took the baby and jumped in a well. After the incident, the room was sealed off for 100 years. This then leads to Edward asking a very stupid question.
The next question is obvious.
Maybe there shouldn't be any more questions, Edward.
One question leads to another, Michael. So let's put Ben to the real test. Let's ask him where the madness room is located.
Boy, didn't you just say that you wanted to stay far away from the room? Now you want to know where it's at? And y'all already know this man won't be able to resist temptation. Kathy then asks Ben, where is the madness room? And he responds to them by saying,
Fire. Ring.
Kathy then puts 2 and 2 together and heads over to the fireplace. They would then discover a ring next to the fireplace, which leads to them removing a brick next to the fireplace. When they remove the brick, they find a map and key that will gain them access to the madness room. This causes Kathy to lose her marbles, as she can't wait to enter the madness room and lose her mind. She then asks Michael, is he going to stay and help them find it? And as soon as he hesitates to answer, Kathy basically calls him chicken.
You are going to stay and help us look for it, aren't you?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Oh, what's the matter, Michael? Are you afraid?
No!
And y'all already know, once somebody call you a chicken, you gotta go through with the BS. And that's exactly what Michael does. After this, the gang then decide to ask Ben for any further instructions when they enter the room. Ben then answers them by saying,
Lock the door behind us 4. Drop key in crack. The only way back.
The gang then goes to the madness room by help of the map. The map tells them that the room is behind a wall in which they must dig their way through. After they're finished digging, Edward begins to open the door, and while he's opening the door, Kathy pulls out a strap.
Good heavens, Kathy. What's a gun for?
Protection.
I'm afraid a gun isn't much protection against ghosts.
Exactly, like what is this woman smoking? Crack? Yeah, she most definitely on them crack rocks. After this, they finally enter the madness room, and this woman says yet another stupid thing.
Where's the light switch?
Oh, come on, Kathy. This room's been sealed off for 100 years. You expect there to be a light switch?
Bro, I don't even know how to respond to this woman anymore. Like, if you look up the word tweaking in the Urban Dictionary, her face gonna be right next to it. They will then venture off into the madness room, leading to Kathy saying that they should follow Ben's rules. And one of his rules was to lock the door behind them.
You really think that we ought to, lock the door?
Well, we're here. Let's play Ben's rules, huh?
Hey man, put his face next to the definition too. Cause how he go from, I don't wanna go where near the room, to, I wanna solve all the mysteries. Man, these folk deserve whatever's about to happen to them. They then lock the door, and Kathy instantly starts acting weird. She finds Ophelia Fairchild's diary and begins reading it.
July 17, 1888. I love my baby, but it cries. I want to make my baby stop crying forever.
Oh my, now that's morbid. She then reads the next passage, which dwells into Ophelia's schizophrenia, as she says that the raindrops outside her window are speaking to her. She says that the raindrops are repeatedly saying death and deceit. Kathy then aims her gun at them, and Edward's chest pain comes back. She also tells Edward that she's sick of being with him.
It's this room. I think it's getting to her.
Yes, the room is getting to me. The house is getting to me. But most of all, dear husband, you are getting to me.
Edward, what is it? What's wrong?
For heaven's sakes, Kathy, the man has a weak heart.
Wrong. The man has no heart.
Michael then gets up and tries to get the gun from Kathy, but she blows his ass away instead. Edward then hears a voice that tells him to drop the key in the crack in the floor.
Drop key in crack.
He also believes that this will break the spell that Kathy is under.
Maybe this will break the spell.
But when he drops the key in the crack, it doesn't work, and Kathy does the unthinkable.
Oh, no. No, Kathy.
But of course they aren't really dead, as they fake getting shot so they can collect Edward's life insurance.
Kathy.
You're a genius.
So are you.
They came up with the whole thing just so Edward could have a heart attack. They wrote a script on all the things they would say, and they even built the madness room while Edward was in the hospital sick. Man, talk about shiesty. But what makes matters even worse is that his goofy ass went along with all the shenanigans. But Edward isn't dead yet, as he tells them that he's going to refuse to die.
You're both gonna come into a lot of money. But what if I don't cooperate? And I refuse to die.
Kathy then responds to Edward by saying,
Michael's thought of that. He'll just help you along.
what a snobby little... But as soon as her goofy ass says this, Edward wises up and throws the lantern that they lit earlier on the curtain, which instantly sends the room up in a blaze. And the two goofballs can't get out as they lock themselves in. But what's even funnier than this is that Edward dropped the key in the crack, and we then find out that wasn't a part of their script.
Where's the key?
He dropped it to that crack.
Don't you have another one?
No, I thought you had one.
I don't have another one.
Then why else did you spell out that last message about dropping the key through the crack?
I didn't spell that out. I thought you did.
Yep, that's exactly what they goofy ass get. And this leads to Edward realizing that Ben was actually the one who spelled out that last message.
Oh, man.
Bro, is this Ben? Boy, look like he assassinate presidents in his spare time. But this is where the episode ends, as they all burn up in the fire. And I must say that this right here was a very dope episode, as the ending twist was just perfect. Like the trope that this episode used is in so many horror-based episodes where the wife kills the husband to collect his life insurance. I feel like this episode was really creative in making this particular scenario different. But with all this being said, guys, let me know what you thought about this episode in the comment section below, and stay tuned for a whole lot more, because I got a whole lot more coming, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. GB signing out.